In the summer of 2008, a 2-year-old girl disappeared in Orlando, Florida. For 31 days, no one reported her missing. Not her babysitter, not her family, not even her mother. By the time police were finally called, the case had already turned into something far more disturbing than anyone imagined. The child's name was Caylee Anthony, and her mother was Casey Anthony. Casey Anthony was 22 years old. She lived with her parents, Cindy and George Anthony, and her young daughter Caylee. From the outside, she appeared like many young single mothers, social, outgoing, and carefree. Too carefree. Friends later testified that Casey frequently partied, stayed out late, and behaved as if she had no parental responsibilities at all. Still, no one imagined what would come next. On July 15, 2008, Casey's mother made a chilling 911 call. She reported that her granddaughter Caylee had been missing for over a month. And then she said something that stopped the dispatcher cold. "I just found my daughter's car, and it smells like there's been a dead body in it." Police immediately began investigating. Casey claimed Caylee had been kidnapped by a nanny named Zenaida Gonzalez. There was just one problem. The nanny didn't exist. As investigators dug deeper, Casey's story began to unravel. She lied about where she worked. She lied about where she lived. She lied about the last time she saw her daughter. And while Caylee was supposedly missing, Casey was seen partying, getting tattoos, and posting photos smiling at nightclubs. One tattoo, in particular, raised alarms. It read, "Bella Vita, beautiful life." Police struggled to understand how a mother of a missing child could behave this way. The media exploded. Casey Anthony became one of the most hated women in America almost overnight. In December 2008, Caylee's remains were found in a wooded area less than a mile from the Anthony family home. The discovery confirmed everyone's worst fear. Caylee was dead, but how she died and who was responsible remained unclear. Prosecutors charged Casey Anthony with first-degree murder. They argued that Casey killed her daughter to free herself from motherhood. The defense argued something entirely different. According to Casey's defense team, Caylee had drowned accidentally in the family pool, and Casey's father, George, helped cover it up. George Anthony denied the accusation completely. There was no physical evidence to prove how Caylee died. No clear cause of death could be determined, and that uncertainty would become the centerpiece of the trial. The trial began in 2011 and quickly became a media spectacle. Every moment was broadcast live, every facial expression analyzed, every witness dissected. Prosecutors presented evidence of lies, suspicious behavior, internet searches, and the smell from Casey's car. But the defense focused on one thing: reasonable doubt. Without a clear cause of death, they argued, the prosecution could not prove murder. After 6 weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated. Then came the verdict: not guilty. The courtroom erupted. Across the country, people were stunned. Many believed justice had failed. Others argued the prosecution never met its burden. Casey Anthony walked free. To this day, she has never been retried. The Casey Anthony case didn't just divide a jury. It divided a nation. It changed how the public views mothers, media coverage, and the limits of circumstantial evidence. And it left behind a haunting question that still lingers. Did the justice system fail Caylee Anthony? Or did it work exactly as designed? Because sometimes, the most disturbing cases aren't the ones with obvious answers. They're the ones where the truth is buried beneath lies, doubt, and silence. And in this case, a little girl never got the justice she deserved. After the verdict was read, Casey Anthony walked out of the courthouse a free woman. Outside, cameras flashed. Protesters shouted. Some cried. Others stood in stunned silence. Across the country, millions of people were asking the same question: how could a mother accused of killing her own child walk free? But the trial verdict was not the end of the story. In many ways, it was only the beginning. In the weeks following her acquittal, the Anthony family retreated from public view. Casey disappeared from Orlando, moving between undisclosed locations for her own safety. She had received death threats. Her parents' home was vandalized. Public anger was intense and relentless. Polls showed that the overwhelming majority of Americans believed Casey was guilty, despite the jury's decision. The divide between legal justice and public opinion had never been more visible. Behind closed doors, prosecutors quietly admitted what many legal experts already knew. They had overreached. By charging first-degree murder, they had set the bar incredibly high. Without a definitive cause of death, they were forced to rely almost entirely on circumstantial evidence. Lies, behavior, suspicion, but no smoking gun, no confession, no forensic proof of murder. And in a courtroom, that matters. Meanwhile, attention shifted to George and Cindy Anthony. The defense's accusations against George, claiming he helped cover up an accidental drowning, had devastated the family. George denied it repeatedly, but the damage was done. Their marriage suffered. Their relationship with Casey was strained beyond repair. And their grief for Kaylee became a very public tragedy. In the years that followed, Casey Anthony lived quietly, working odd jobs and staying out of the spotlight. She gave no interviews, made no public apologies, and offered no explanations beyond what was said in court. That silence only fueled suspicion. Every reported sighting, every leaked photo, every rumor. The public never stopped watching. In 2017, nearly a decade after Kaylee's death, Casey broke her silence. She gave a rare interview, and once again, her words stunned the public. She insisted she did not kill her daughter. She suggested Kaylee may have drowned accidentally, and she hinted, without directly accusing, that others in the household bore responsibility. The interview changed few minds. If anything, it reopened old wounds. Experts continue to debate the case. Some believe Casey was a deeply irresponsible mother whose lies spiraled out of control. Others believe she actively covered up a crime. A small minority argue the truth may never be fully known, that the system failed not because of corruption, but because certainty was impossible. And that uncertainty is what makes the case so haunting. Kaylee Anthony became more than a victim. She became a symbol of a justice system constrained by rules, a symbol of how media attention can distort perception, a symbol of how truth and proof are not always the same thing. Today, the Casey Anthony case remains one of the most controversial verdicts in American history. No new charges have been filed, no new evidence has emerged, and no one has been held legally responsible for Kaylee's death. And so the story ends the way it began, with a little girl who never got to grow up, with a family forever fractured, and with a question that still divides the nation. Was justice served, or was it denied? Because sometimes, the most disturbing crimes are not the ones we can explain, but the ones we never truly resolve.